freshman year, you had a different role than you do now. People look at the age and say 21 and think that's old in today's basketball play. Why does that bother you when you hear stuff like that? And how much, I guess, if you just scratch the surface of what the player you can be?
Yeah, I'd say I'm a 21-year-old at 18-year-old's body. I mean, in high school, I was a 5'10" sophomore, and ended up growing to 6'8" my senior year of high school. So I'm a late bloomer in that sense. So for me, I'm young. I feel young. I don't get dinged up at all. So my body's still fresh. I feel like if you're comparing me on age and not what I do on the court, then maybe that's another conversation. But I mean, for me, it's whatever I do on the court. Age is something I can't control. So.
The last thing for me, have you talked to the Pistons at all?
I mean, I've had interviews with them, and obviously Luka's there. So my dad's from Michigan, but yeah, talking with them has been going well. So for me, it's just putting my best foot forward in the interview process with any team. So I'm just trying to build great relationships with all teams that I meet with and cross paths with.
What has this week been like for you? I think you've been working out in Chicago, so you've been around too. But and what also have you tried to impress upon executives as you've met with them?
Yeah, just show my mindset. Just show that between the lines, I'm a different person from outside the lines, and leave everything on the court. And for me, it's kind of been a little chaotic just because I've been doing the interviews in the mornings, then taking Ubers and things like that to go work out on the other side of town, basketball-wise, lifting-wise, things like that. So for me, I'm just enjoying this process. Not many people get to do it. So for me, I'm one of the guys that gets to go through this and meet with NBA teams. If you told me 3 years from now would I be in this position, I'd kind of smirk at you and laugh, but for me, I'm just honored and grateful.
What has been your workout priorities this summer leading up to the draft? What are you trying to get accomplished?
Yeah, for me, it's just creating more diversity on offense, becoming more creative. In the NBA, it's more of an open floor game. The court's bigger, three-point line's bigger. There's more spacing. There's not many sets ran, but for me, it's just being creative off the bounce, doing stuff that I really didn't do in college, or in games, and just getting out of my comfort zone. I feel like my offense kind of overshadowed my defense, so for me, it's because right now, like the top 4 teams in the NBA playoffs are all the best defensive teams. So for me, it's locking in on defense, using my length to my advantage, and knowing that I'm a great defender.
How would you describe kind of like your growth from freshman to sophomore year in terms of offense?
Yeah, I'd say I always had the skill set. In high school and prep school, I'd always score in bunches, score all the time. So my freshman year, I was playing a role. We had the National Player of the Year on our team, so for me, I had to fill that role on that veteran team. And my sophomore season, my mentality flipped. I knew that I was going to have the ball in my hands more, and I had to take that for what it was worth. Go in the offseason, be comfortable with the ball in my hands, use my skill set, find different ways that I can score the ball, and that was not just ISO plays, but offensive rebounds, putbacks, running the floor, transition. So for me, it was getting in the best shape possible, and also flipping my mindset that I knew I was the best player on the court whenever I stepped on the court. So for me, it was more of a mindset thing than anything.
What's your why for playing basketball? Why do you do it?
Yeah, my why is my family. For me, my family just makes me work hard every single day. Just knowing that in my position, I can create generational wealth for not only my personal family, but my overall family and through generations. So for me, I love the game of basketball. I've always loved it, and it's crazy how a little round ball that you shoot through a hoop, how far that can take you in life. So for me, I just love the game. I love that my family is with me through every step of the way.
What city is your dad from? You said he's from Michigan?
Yeah, he's from Battle Creek, Michigan.
Did you spend time in Michigan growing up?
Yeah. I go to Michigan probably once a year. Just go to because his side of the family lives over there, so I go down there, hang with my grandma, and my grandpa, and just hang in Battle Creek. So.
Awesome. You said you've been talking to Luka Garza throughout this process. When you look at your lead from freshman to sophomore year, how much of that was just, obviously he went to Detroit, so just seizing that bigger role, or how much of that skill development also kind of came out as well?
Yeah. I think I worked a lot on my skill development. I remember last year at the end of the year, Luka told me that this was going to be my team now, and I had to do what do whatever to make that happen. So for me, it was just becoming the best conditioned guy on the court, not showing signs of weakness when I was tired, but also creating diversity in my skill set and putting the ball in the basket in different ways.
What teams have you interviewed with so far?
Yeah, I've interviewed with a lot of teams. I think 7 or 8 so far, all throughout the first round. There's a big diversity of teams for me, and I'm just excited to meet with all of them. Doesn't matter if they're in the lottery, in the first round, in the second round. For me, just about creating relationships with every team in the league.
Have you interviewed with the Pacers at all?
One of Washington.
Or the Pacers?
Yeah, both of those. Tomorrow. Yeah.
Do you anticipate limiting your workouts by any means, or will you need to do that?
For me, as long as I'm healthy, because I feel 100% right now. So if I can go work out with those teams, then I'm gonna go work out with those teams. I'm not a guy that likes to take breaks. No off days for me. So for me, whatever team that I feel like I need to go work out with, I'll go work out with.
Do you take it personal when sort of the knock that's been going around about you is like your ceiling might not be as high as other players in the draft? Do you take that personal?
I feel like my ceiling is as high as anyone just because I'm a late bloomer. I feel like I haven't really grown into my body just yet. You could see the progress from when I was in prep school to my freshman year to my sophomore year. I've still been continuing to work on my body, still adding weight and things like that. So for me, like I said earlier, I'm a 21-year-old and 18-year-old's body. I'm still working on my body. I feel like my ceiling is as high as anyone else in the draft.
Defensively, how do you see yourself fitting into the NBA? You average almost 2 blocks, not blocks for protection, but do you see yourself being a guy that can switch with smaller players as well?
Yeah. I feel like my strength, I might not look as big, but functional strength is really good for me. For me, I feel like I can switch on the guards, switch on the bigs. Obviously, the athleticism, the size is a little bit different than in college. But every level you go up is another challenge. So for me, I'm willing to take the challenge. I don't really care who's matched up across from me. I want to take that challenge and do what I can to stop them.
From playing on an Iowa team that had so much success in the past 2 seasons when you were there, what was the number one thing you learned from playing on that team with Coach McCaffrey?
Yeah, I think just learning. I feel like the more you listen, the better you'll be. And I feel like the teams in the past might not listen as much, might not have that winning culture, but I feel like we had that winning culture at Iowa, especially those last 2 years. I feel like all of our guys listened to what the coaches had to say, what other guys on our team had to say. That created those really 2 good seasons when I was a Hawkeye, and I think our team chemistry was really good both those years.